Hey everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats again, and today we're talking with Kytly. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
It's a nice day out finally, and everyone's starting to see some grass and some sun, so that's always a bonus.
Yes, yes. When it's over zero, absolutely.
I mean, even under zero for me, I'm a big boy. I wear shorts all winter long most times, so
No, thank you.
yeah. So we're here today to chat with you about your music, about some upcoming releases that you have. But for those who are new, can you give a little bit of an intro about yourself?
Yeah, my band is Kytly, and I'm releasing a new album April 14th. It's called Detours and Exits. There's three singles out already, which you can find on all the platforms. Uh, the first single was Begin Again, and then Not the Jealous Type and Whiskey Kisses. So I'm excited to share the whole album with you. It's been a year or two in the making.
Those are always fun once you get that final product out.
Yeah.
So, how did you get into music? I guess that's probably the best place to start. Like, what was your inspiration to jumping into this line of work?
Well, I feel like music's always been kind of part of my everyday life for a long time. Like, um, this project grew out of you know, like most people, out of like the shutdown, the reset, the pandemic, where I had some time to actually workshop songs that were ongoing over the years and really spend the time needed to get this album together. But prior to this, I was songwriting. I was working with other people. I had used to have a band called the Caraways in Toronto, and then prior to that, I had another little band called Alice. Really, it kind of started 14. I got a guitar. I moved over from England to a small town in Canada, and music kind of saved me. Like I used to walk everywhere with my headphones or bike everywhere with my headphones, and really got into like indie rock, alternative music, and that just kind of like helped me get through that transition of moving countries and finding my way. And as soon as I got half decent enough to play guitar, I started writing songs.
hmm Is there an artist or like a song that, that first time that you heard it, you're like, wow, this is outstanding?
Oh, going back, like way back.
Yeah, yeah, early. So I like we're looking early inspiration type still.
I think early inspiration would have been around that, that pivotal age, coming of age, where I was listening to like mixtapes where I had like Britas, I had Pixies, I had That Dog, Elastic Hair, Blur. Like it was like a mix of that very 90s, pop fusion, punk rock slash rock and roll, like but everything from Violent Femmes to Pavement. And then some softer, like female artists were the ones that really made me want to like learn their songs. Like I love the Australian band Frente, and I
Okay.
was trying to learn her songs for hours, and then like Eric's Trip, learning Julia Duran's songs. Yeah, I would say the genre of it's a big genre of artists, but those artists definitely inspired me.
No, those are some good names too. I know I still have some of those on playlists now that I listen to.
I do too, and that's it. I
Mhm.
still like it. It's absolutely nostalgic, but current still. Yeah.
So you're fairly young in the music scene, I would say at this point compared to some. What's your take on things that you've learned so far?
Oh, I think you yeah. There's so many talented, successful, amazing artists, and following their careers. Having great conversations, just being open to the fact that we always have so much more to learn about our crafts, and just like I think I've kind of said it in other interviews, it's really just kind of owning what you can do and your sound, and not trying to really compare yourself or be someone else, like just trying to be true to how you want to do your music. And as different as it may be, it's what comes from me. So yeah.
hmm And you're in the digital age, I guess, of music now too. With like you said, you're working on this project a lot during lockdown, and everything is Zoom calls and social media and all that now. And
Yeah,
since you jumped in early, you think you're able to adapt to that fairly quickly?
Yeah, we did. Brian, who produced the album in LA, we would spend hours going through like voice memos, sorting through what was great, and then workshopping from LA and Toronto and sending stuff through the ether. And I'd play a part, he'd play drums, we send it back. You know what? It felt really professional, even though we weren't in the room together and you didn't have that energy. There was time to really feel the music, let it kind of like simmer, and then be like, A, B, C, this is what it needs to be, this is the bridge. I found the process really great. You know, when everyone's professional and older and has lives, it's hard to get together in your garage and jam every week, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a different, it's like you're saying, it's a digital age. You can now meet internationally with people that you wouldn't really ever get to play in a garage with. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, for sure. So with the new album coming out, how did you come up with the name for this one? I'm curious. Detours and Exits?
Detours and Exits. It was actually very simple to name it. I keep all my songbooks, and about, I don't know, almost like 10 years ago, I was going to release a solo album after my last band broke up and I didn't. And I'd circled Detours and Exits. And when I went back through my songbooks, it was there, and it spoke to me. Like most of my songs are about starting over, leaving, new beginnings. So I was like, well, this is what it's called. Yeah.
I mean, that works too. Did you find when you were putting the album together, picking tracks was tough? I know sometimes you have to keep it concise if you want to do a specific style of a release.
Sorry, I missed the beginning part of that question.
Did you find it tough putting tracks together for the album? Like you picked a certain amount and you had to put them all together?
There's quite a few tracks that didn't make it on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Did I find it tough? Not really. The ones that needed to go on are there. And I mean, I've listened to a few songs that haven't made it on, and I think those songs will make it on the next one. Right? Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think there's always more material stewing. So,
and it's nice to be able to put together that piece, and it feels just right and smooth and comes out just the way you want it.
yes, we took our time. Like, I just didn't feel a rush this day and age to rush the release. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so we had time to think about it.
Which track is your favorite that you're excited for everyone to hear?
That's a hard question. I think sonically, after everything's mixed and put together, my favorite is Not the Jealous Type, which I've released already. But my absolute favorite writing and feeling is a song called Undercovers.
Okay. I think actually I saw that one on the list that they sent over to me.
Okay, good. You should just listen to it when it comes out.
Yeah, I listened to some of them because I had a busy morning, but I definitely was jamming and just vibing to the sound that you produce. It was really nice.
Thank you so much. It's awesome.
Now, you've had a few, well, you mentioned you had a few, bands and other musical kind of aspirations as you were coming up. How do you think your sound has evolved from early on to now?
How has my sound evolved? Well, I think everything has matured. My ear, like the music I listen to, my outlook on music I listen to has influenced me. And I think I just know now when something is right or sounds good or feels right, rather than, rewind when you're younger. You're not as certain or confident in many aspects of your life. So I think it just comes with a bit of maturity and just listening to music for quite a long time. It's developed, and I think it still will develop. I mean, it's all tied to what you're going through as an artist, what's going on in your life. And I think I will probably have a different style with maybe the next couple of albums that I work on as I evolve. Yeah.
And I think that's the sign of a good artist, that you're always learning, you're always evolving. And you look at some of the bigger groups today, like take Linkin Park, for instance, as they got a little bit further down their career, all their albums started to change kind of sonically of how they were at that time, and everything kind of progressed and evolved in different ways. So my idea, that's the sign of a good artist anyways. Mike's. Sorry, my stuff was cutting out on my end here.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Did you caught that last question though? Okay. Now where I left on my thing here. Okay. So a lot of your music, from what I was reading and listening to, seems to have, personal stuff involved and a lot of your experiences. Do you find it hard to balance putting too much of yourself into your music versus kind of keeping that boundary and safe space for yourself?
I used to. I used to be a lot more vulnerable about sharing. And that's probably why it took me so long to release an album. But no, not anymore. I feel like when I read or when I listen to music, what actually speaks to me and stirs emotions up in me is when people are honest. And that's, I think, as an artist, that's all we can be, is honest, and hope that other people can find something in that and feel something from our vulnerabilities.
You hope people take certain kind of stories away from your music as they're listening to it?
I hope people can relate. Yes. Maybe I'm able to sing about something that they weren't able to voice yet, or,
Mm-hmm.
like when you listen or when you read a story that maybe you've gone through a similar experience, and then you don't feel as alone in this world because somebody else actually has said it for you. Like, I think that's kind of, what art should do. It should make you feel. So maybe I overshare, but that's my style, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, and creatives, I find, just always put a little extra in their stuff anyways.
Yeah.
So I mean, COVID aside, what are some challenges that you faced kind of putting music together and just in your career in general?
I think finishing songs.
Okay.
It's hard to walk away. Like, there's so many different ways to end or finish chorus or a verse, or rewrite it because you're not sure. So it was very helpful working with professionals, working with Brian Young on this album, and with the musicians that he lined up to play. Just having that kind of caliber art around you, it really helps you make quicker decisions, and getting feedback, like sending songs out and having them say, hey, this is cool, I want to play on it, was almost like, okay, you know what, I don't need to rewrite it 10 more times, let's let it go, I'm going to finish it. So yeah, I used to have a hard time with finishing songs or finishing paintings. Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that actually from quite a few artists, is you're putting so much and then all of a sudden it just doesn't feel right, and you're trying to jive things back and forth.
And then you just sidebar it and be like, oh, you know what, I give up with that. And then that's something that you've made. So yeah.
So now that we're in, spring and summer's coming up, and the world's opening up nicely and music scene's starting to flourish, what's your opinion on your local scene?
Well, there's bands playing all the time, everywhere. Again, this festival is happening. It's super exciting. I am really gearing up to start playing live. I am working with some great local musicians, and we'll be sharing some dates soon for summer.
Okay.
So yes, that's the next stage is getting back on stage, which it's its own beast, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Festival season's a monster in itself.
Yeah, so it's amazing for everyone who loves to get out and feel music. I'm so happy that artists are able to do this again.
Mm-hmm. Do you have like a routine you do when you're like preparing yourself for a live performance?
Well, it's been a while since I've done a live show, because pre-pandemic
Yeah.
and but now moving forward, I think I will have a routine. Like I have a bit of a routine when I'm practicing at home already. It's pretty much do yoga. I do a
Okay.
bit of yoga. I do a bit of like breath work. Really just try to ground myself and then actually warm up my vocal cords, sing. I used to have a couple of drinks to get on stage, but I don't think that's where I'm at anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you like you said, things have matured. You've matured more, and look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I have a couple fun questions I like to ask everybody. It gets a little bit more insights, pick your brain a little bit. My first one is a selfish one for me. It's what's
Okay.
something on your go-to playlist that people wouldn't expect you're listening to?
They wouldn't expect. Oh, is that supposed to be like a guilty pleasure song?
In a sense, yeah. I use that vernacular sometimes.
um, well, okay, I'll share this. Because okay, I'll tell the song and I'll tell the backstory. Bangles, Eternal Flame.
Okay.
Because I actually have some little ones, and I have an old record collection. And when I was younger, I had this record. Anyway, so they absolutely love it. So I've learned how to play it and I sing it to them. So it's in my playlist when we're in the car. Anyway, that's one of my guilty pleasures.
No, I like that. I like that song a lot actually. Mm. And I use that question because there's so much music out there in the world. It's hard to pick up something interesting, so it gives me new stuff for my playlist. So another one I have, and this one I like because it gives almost like a shout out to someone. Is there artists out there right now that you're really interested in, like local scene or just someone doing some really crazy stuff in the music scene that you like right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like in Hamilton or in Toronto. Uh, who would I mean, gosh, I really enjoyed, I went to a winery show to see, oh my goodness, what is her, like, this is awful, I'm gonna blank on her name, but it's Georgia Harmer. I mean, she's bigger, but I absolutely was blown away by her voice and her presence. Yeah, Georgia Harmer. I
Oh,
think
that's
she,
a good one. I like that one too. Yeah. Again, this is another one because there's so many people playing, it's hard to catch every show. So
yeah,
it's nice to
absolutely.
see those. Is there a piece of advice that you might have been given through your career that has kind of really held tight to you?
Um, mm, people, people often tell me to, yeah, to kind of think like Bowie, you know, you deserve to be on stage, you deserve to be having the moment to share your music, you know, just kind of like own it, like
Mm-hmm.
be who you are and don't be afraid or insecure if people don't like it. That's, you're just not meant for them, right? I think just we can't please everybody. Everybody's got different tastes, and the best we can be is just, you know, the best version of us.
Apologetically yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have, so we talked a bit about your process for like preparing yourself for your shows and stuff and yoga. Do you have a process outside of music that you use to kind of ground yourself and relax and decompress?
Yeah, absolutely. I paddleboard in the summer. I finally bought my own inflatable paddleboard, and I usually go out to Jordan Harbor or Lake Ontario and do a big workout. I find being on the water really grounding. And then I do regular HIIT classes, like yoga sculpt classes 3 times a week to just be in my body and find it helps your mind to not always be so cerebral and, overthinking when you're actually working out.
Yeah, no, that definitely, it's a distraction. I've been starting to get a little bit more active myself now that winter's kind of out, and I feel a bit better for that for sure.
So hard with these Canadian winters. It's like, yeah.
And it wasn't bad for me before. Like, my dogs would love to play, but now they're getting older and ice is slippery and I'm getting older, and who wants to wipe out all the time?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a fan of the winter. It's like the one thing every year I say, I'm gonna buy skis, I'm gonna buy a cool snow outfit, and I'm gonna embrace it. And then all of a sudden it's April and I haven't done any of that.
I think most people are that way, to be honest. It just is like, I'll do it next time.
Right.
Now my last question, this is the most important one I think out of this whole interview, is why music? Why do you keep pursuing this career of yours?
Good question. Why? I don't keep pursuing it. It's like it's pursuing me. I honestly I have a career in film and TV. I work production designing and art directing, and I didn't sit down and be like, I'm gonna make an album and I'm gonna tour the world. Like, I couldn't not make this album. It just completely wanted to come out. I've just been writing. I've been distracted nonstop with ideas in my head of songs again. And now I've just like let it go and embraced it. And now really, really excited by this new wave of music again.
It's refreshing and fun and just something that just gets you
Yeah.
going.
I don't have any pressure because it's kind of is wanting to unleash itself. So yeah, I'm going with it.
Oh, I think that's a great answer, and that's pretty much all I have written down here, actually. Is there any kind of final tidbits or words of wisdom you'd like to leave for listeners?
Please download my album, listen to it, and yeah, come out to a show. I'll be announcing on socials when we're playing and where, and I'd love to like meet cool music people, so come on out and say hi.
For sure, and we'll definitely make sure to link and put all that stuff in the description. Where can they find you on social media?
Kytly Creative, at Kytly Creative, and also on there's a Bandcamp website going up, and the TikTok, Facebook, they'll all be linked to my YouTube as well.
Yeah. Okay, we'll make sure to link all that for everyone to check you out and check your music out.
Awesome. Well, it was lovely talking to you.
Yeah, this was delightful, and I'm sure we'll get to do this again sometime. I always like to catch up with people when they have new things to talk about, so I'm always available.
Awesome. Okay.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks.
Bye.